Folks, welcome back to Splatoon 2 at Shine 2022 Losers Finals. We have had an incredible day of Splatoon. We just saw an incredible set that we'll talk about between Yamum and Cherry Limeade later on. But we have a great Losers Finals for you folks. Yamum losing to Cherry Limeade will now be up against Stargaze. But before we go too deep, my name is Nine Whole Grains. Delighted to be on the mic. And Asti, this is the first time we've done this here live for the people.
Bro, I am so happy to finally be on the mic with you, like literally in person and not over a Discord call, you know? So proud to be able to be here and give you guys some great matches coming up. Like you said, Losers Finals coming up. Stargaze coming all the way up, right? They got knocked out of winner's side by Cherry Limeade, coming back in, but they're not going to be able to get their revenge just yet. They got to place off against Yomam before they be able to get that little bit of revenge. But fantastic sets so far this weekend. Splatoon has been so fun.
It really has. And every time you see somebody walk up here, there's just a little like look and then the double take. When something that they have no idea how to explain is now going on the stream. People are starting to crowd in. People are cheering here. And there's a lot of smash going on behind too here. This is not just because there's nothing else to do. People love this game and that will only continue to grow in Splatoon 3. But let us talk about these teams here. I'm going to pull the old commentator faux pas and say I played against Stargaze in pools.
Oh my God, here we go.
And I was quite impressed with the way that they played here. You all, if you've been watching the stream from the start of the day, have seen a lot of their sets. We've streamed all of them today. They are a very meta composition here. You're not going to see a lot of things you aren't expecting here. They do have a Sorella Brella player that can bring it as well, but they are very, very fundamentally sound. And one player we got to call out here, Yeet, has been playing a combination of the Kensa 52 gal as well as the Gluga Doolies. Incredible Slayer going forward and making plays happen.
Yeah, literally just seeing them like just do so much work earlier on in the bracket, especially against your team. I know you're a little salty about that. I know,
just a little.
I mean, we were talking about it earlier. You were like, I saw those, you know, the muscles you're growing right now. It wasn't just from working out, man. It was a little bit of rage, you know.
A little bit of rage.
I saw it.
A little bit of rage. But I also told you after that set, I said, that was legit. And
yeah,
when you get 3-0'd, of course the opposing team is outclassed.
It was close though.
But there's something. Well, this one wasn't. I see what you did there. This one was not a close 3-0, I should say. But they had a lot, and I'm really excited to see what they can do against some established vets here on Team Your Mom. You can see the rosters in front of you: Power, Hunty, Hope, and Storm here. Did just take the L to Cherry Limeade, but these are some stalwarts, man.
Yeah, literally, Yomam being a pickup team for the weekend, right? Like these players, you know, they've played with each other before in the past, but like never just as like a static team compared to Stargaze, as well as Cherry Limeade, who's sitting over in Grand side of the winner side. So gonna see what they're gonna be able to bring to the table here. Obviously, they've been doing such good work. I heard they didn't drop a single game until winners finals.
That is correct. They kind of breezed through as they were really expected to. They were one of the presumptive top 2 seeds, and really the way that they like to play is they use a special, typically from Power there on the back line, to send their frontliners forward. Hunty and Storm, incredible work together that they can do, playing 2 very, very fast frontline weapons, and Hope going to be working the end zap here. Again, not things that we haven't seen before, but there's just the slight nuances, the micro game that they've really polished over the years. And I think that if the upset is to occur here and Stargaze is to get the victory, both teams are going to be playing the same game. They're going to have to adapt very quickly, and more than anything, not let the nerves happen. You get a shooter of this caliber running at you, it's that much more difficult.
All right, guys, we're going to jump right now into tower control. You guys ready for some Splatoon action? Want to hear it? Let's go. Let's get it.
Taking a look here at the team comps, we said they wouldn't be that different, and how's about it? Both sides are going to end up bringing a typical backliner there, a K-52. They're going to bring an NZAP and an Inkjet weapon of choice. We're going to have Storm on the T-Tech, the namesake, and on the other side, a Splash-O-Matic, 2 of the best and most exciting weapons to play on the front lines.
Yeah, NZAP's no stranger on this type of map, right? Just being able to get a little bit of armor for your team, always going to be very helpful. Probably going to see it a lot more in the future game as well. But right out the gate, looks like no deaths yet. So many are trying to find that opening splat. Just going for the zones here. Got Inkjet on decking that first super out, trying to get some special action. Booyah Bomb coming out as well. This could be a big push for Stargaze.
Yeah, very nice opening here. That's another one going down here. Power needs to be careful. Should probably try to jump out. Instead, opts to fight it out. Is going to go down. We'll see if that trade ends up mattering here. You saw there was a stalemate at the center of the map there. Both sides opting to throw specials. And Stargaze was the first team who had the gumption to try to take advantage and move forward.
Now we see them over at checkpoint number 1, going through it as much as they can. They got specials ready to go. Tenta missiles coming into plus, as well as another special. They're charging their special meters so fast for these engagements, 9.
2 down already, so they snuffed it out there. They did everything that you're supposed to do. You set up your specials, go in there, but of course the members of your mom very adroitly sidestepping it and moving forward. Now here, Storm on this Inkjet is going to be in a position, you see they're trying to get rid of this last K-52, going to jump out and make the job easy for them. As Storm is able to get into a good position to use this Inkjet, it's going to do a lot of damage, one of the few specials that can really threaten you if you're set atop.
Stargaze has an armor ready to go. They're just waiting for that first engagement before throwing it out there. There's the Booyah Bomb and the armor to go try to go in and push. They got one splat, looking for a second one to try to get some more action on this tower. Can't seem to find their mark, but they're able to take it back, try to push it back towards center stage. Here comes an Inkjet just trying to get some paint on the ground to help their team move forward.
Great job again on the defense here. That first checkpoint, getting through it is going to make every other push that much easier. And so far, again, it's been Stargaze who was able to break through that the fastest here. So often we will see exactly what you see right now, a long distance special being thrown out to try to make it a little bit more difficult for the opposing team to get a solid foothold in mid. It looked like it did the job, but Hunty goes down very early on, and I'm not sure this push is going to have great legs until she respawns.
Yeah, the armor didn't activate soon enough, man. I feel like it went down right when the armor went up, but that's okay. We got a super jump in, but here comes a Booyah Bomb. Might have got the pick on top of that. Still going to be able to push this tower. Hope's going to jump off, try to get some more action in there. Looking for a pick. Gets it on Snow. This is going to be huge. Unfortunately, they only got 2 up.
Yeah, and I think Hope taking that fight there instead of staying on the tower was the right call, because you can see that allowed Power and Hunty to get back into mid. If they'd stalled for just a little bit longer, they might have been able to get some punish. I know all the players in that engagement were very, very heavily damaged at the end. Yeet going to take a fight and actually find a trade out of that. Was not expecting. And with this now, Hunty and Storm have to hide. These are 2 explosive weapons. They can take back mid in a hurry, but instead they're going to opt to sit back here, try to play it smart, and Hunty waiting around on that flank.
Storm's not going to let that Inkjet run just yet, because obviously it's going to put you into an exposure. Go for it. Here we go, JB throwing out some bombs, just trying to get some kind of opening. More ink, nothing too much happening.
No, this so often happens in quad shooter. You see somebody off to the side, you send 2 people after them. If you don't immediately get the pick there, you run away here. There's no reason to engage if you're a weapon that doesn't have to. And that's why we've seen such a stalemated game so far. Power, that Ray not going to find anybody here. JB just narrowly surviving. And again, Osti with just under 2 minutes left in the game. Almost no points have been scored. Usually someone's at least gotten to that second checkpoint by now.
I know, really, seriously, it's just like that first checkpoint. Still an extremely even game, 60-64. It's all the onus is on your mom to try to make this first push. Here we go, that's a pick going immediately into a Booyah Bomb. This could be huge, 9.
That is a delayed wipe there with the last one jumping out in Yeet, who has had an incredible weekend. Now pushing forward, needs to not get wallbang there, is immediately going to go and try to attack the turret here. This is huge. If they're able to clear this out, that means no defense is going to come from this side. The jump is going to be out. They need to rotate back in a hurry, but this push still online. Can they get past the checkpoint? They do. This Booyah Bomb going to clear out the tower. No, they're going to throw it behind. And it does look like the members of your mom are still on the back foot. Yeet is now behind them and still fighting.
What a push, man. They're going all the way to the 3rd checkpoint. They still have some members alive. They might not be able to get too much off of this, but the tower is still going forward. They're fighting for their dear life on that 3rd checkpoint, going back and forth. Take the tower, lose the tower. Take the tower, lose the tower. What's going to be the end result? We'll just have to wait and see. It looks like finally your mom pushing it right back to neutral in the center. But there's only so much time left on the clock.
Yeah, only so much time, and they are going to have to contend with a Booyah Bomb that will be thrown at the tower here. We're going to see how long they opt to wait off here, and it does seem like the members of your mom just a little bit trepidatious, trying to push. Yeet comes around the corner there. That is a huge fight here, and Yeet opting not to sit back. Can we get a 3? How's about it?
Dude, a triple on top of that? Yeet is on fire with 20 seconds left to go. I think that might be the game, man. Your mom has to pull out some tricks or wonders. They don't even got a special ready to go. I think this might be it.
Yeah, and they're going to sit and keep the tower right back there, the hardest place to get to it. Yeet with an explosive triple, and the rest of the team cleaning up here. Power's going to have to shoot in the general direction of the tower. There's a wall in the tower. Charge that Booyah Bomb. GG Bomb closing it, and Stargaze taking game number 1.
Yeeting that team out of existence there at the end. Already getting 3 splats in a row, pretty much solidifying their lead in a heavy fashion. Even though that triple did not happen, it was pretty much a locked-in victory, right? Because your mom was going to have to make a big push at the very end. They have to go all the way past the 2nd checkpoint, but then even with the triple, like, their morale must have just been done at that point.
Yeah, it's so difficult, and we'll see some of these replays that come up here, but I do want to note that, you know, when you are playing quad shooter against another quad shooter team, as we said at the start, there are those moments of both sides waiting for someone to overextend a little bit. You send 2 people after them, you both retreat. That's how it ends up going typically. But when one player or team is playing with more confidence, they start to look for different openings. And when those openings are found, when you force your way through, this is what it can look like here. I don't know that Yeet should have taken any of those engagements, and yet they won all 3.
I mean, you know, if you're feeling it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you have to.
we were talking earlier a little bit, Nine, about just confidence in general, right? And just having your star player being the one to be able to take those big picks, having the confidence, having the cojones to be able to get in there and try to solidify that victory, it matters a lot, and it helps your morale of your team. If so many people are relying on you, if you got 3 people going on you, look at Heat right here, fighting this battle, jumping around, trying to avoid the splats, finally makes the Mark II on top of that. Good gosh.
And this is such a bold flank, too, there, because you know that you have the Booyah Bomb that can shut down a push, but, you know, the one enemy of success in Splatoon is being passive. You can be defensive, you can sit back, you can try to hold the lead, but the moment that you're passive, that's when you start opening up opportunities for your opponents. Not an ounce of it there, and Stargaze, I mean, they controlled the pace of that from start to finish. That's tower control. That is one of the more measured modes when teams at the top level start to play against each other. I'm sweating a little bit, my friend.
Literally, like, I'm glad I put on some deodorant earlier. Like, literally, I was kind of, might have to change my clothes, man. Like, my heart is pounding, man. And there's so many good games coming out here. That was just map number 1 on top of that. Just the first map. But now we're going over to Rainmaker, one of my favorite modes. Name of the game, going to have to be able to grab that middle weapon, take it all the way to the end of the zone. But you know what? Some people here might be a star Rainmaker man, you know, might be one.
It could be indeed. And you know, some interesting changes here. We're seeing Yeet switch over to the Kensa Splattershot Pro. This thing absolutely terrorized the world of competitive Splatoon for quite a few months. And on the other side, Hunty has opted to switch over to the foil squeezer, a weapon that she has picked up very recently here. So interesting to note, both of the K52 players have changed off the K52, opting for a little more range.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to do in this, right? Because you're going to be fine. Okay.
Yeet working all the way around there on that huge flank. And so often at this level, flanks are based on timing, right? You're able to make a flank because somebody is pushing forward and taking the eyes away. I don't even know if that was the case. I just don't think they thought to check.
Yeah, literally. They did not expect anyone to be around that area. And all of a sudden, here we go. Tenta missiles shooting it off. That's going to be 2 down for Stargaze. That might have been a waste of a special. I don't know.
Yeah, very tricky there, and again, Hunty wanting to fight that out, but the K-Pro meaning that you can engage with a lot of levels, and again, Yeet gonna keep on fighting there. A trade might not have been too bad, but again, Rainmaker is still stuck in the middle here. A full minute goes by, neither team having scored a point here. Power has the chance to open this up with a Stingray here, kind of firing off at nobody. The members of Stargaze actually did a really great job of separating and playing with different heights. Hope gonna opt to grab it here, but it's Yeet already. If they can get Yeet here very quickly, this could be huge. Heat gonna run right in and is able to get them again and might be able to get Power. Yeet going crazy, a full wipe!
Already getting so many full wipes out here, getting all of the splats, get a full range of motion, push it all the way in, got all the way to 40% points remaining. Look how close they were to dunking it.
Yep, and again there, I would wonder if they could have that one again if they would have used the Booyah Bomb there, continue to fire forward. The moment's gone, so it doesn't matter, but again, it just seems like your mom playing a little bit nervous. I won't even say passive, but you see they're not moving forward. I don't know if it was something in the Cherry Limeade set that just kind of knocked it out of them, but this is not the kind of game that I've come to expect from these players.
Do you think they're just like waiting for an opportunity to get some ink painted before going for that push? Because right now they're starting to make it ever so slowly, you know, trying to take their time. But now all of a sudden we got armor coming up from Stargaze, gonna help them with this push. Got the Rainmaker down on top of it, gonna try to take the battle towards them. Snowy's going to go down. Hunty on a rampage over here, seeing if they can try to get something going here to try to get that Stargaze.
Yeah, they've started to use their bubbles to start the pushes here. The only problem with that is that severely limits what Hunty's able to do on the offensive side. If you're waiting for your bubbles to make anything happen here, that means that a player who has been known for her slaying capabilities isn't going to get to do it. On the other side, gets taken out as well. JB getting into the action here. Another fight here, and Storm jumping down into a 1v2. I mean, the members of Stargaze are positioning themselves properly for these fights, but it seems like your mom just, again, kind of out of sync here, taking fights when they don't need to.
I like that Power didn't actually retreat right there. Just kind of like holding his own, trying to like catch some ink here. Got a Stingray on that. It's going to help out a lot. Unfortunately, Hope going down immediately after picking up the Rainmaker.
Yeah, Yeet dove on that when they're sensing that the momentum was starting to shift there and that if that Stingray got too many people, it could get dangerous. Now what are they going to do off of this? Power gets another huge pick. The bubbles are still there. Are they going to run? Hunty moves up and goes down so early into that push. Hope taking a dive, trying for it.
That was the moment, Nine. That was the time to make it work, but unfortunately they just got caught by like the complete blast of it. There's a JB pick. Hunty trying to get more. Got a double. We take that trade to the bank. It's 3-2. Let's see if Power can try to make some moves. He's got Sting ready to go, backing up. We got a full target on the Rainmaker. Easy pickings. Trying to go for a second one. Trying to catch Snow as they're retreating to the left. Can't seem to find its mark, but a little bit of damage has been done, at least making them retreat.
Yep, this could be huge survivability. Yeah, you got to watch out there. You're still in range. The burst bomb going to do it, and now Power's going to be on the perfect perch to attack them here.
Oh.
Storm moving up, Hunty moving forward. If they can just outlast these missiles, they might be able to get the lead, but no! Going down to a wayward bomb, and this fight is still going on.
Just one more inch would have helped so much. Now all of your mom is going down. Your Stargaze picking it back up. They're spawning right back in their base, and now it's their time to go for a push. A reverse push, mind you, already going past neutral. So people, Yeet's going to super jump back in and try to reset this back to neutral. But unfortunately, they couldn't get any sort of layout. They had a Stingray on deck. You're easy pickings. You got a Rainmaker against Stingray.
Yeah, and that was a bold play there. Yeet was trying to go after Power there. Power knew where Yeet was. Yeet immediately going back to mid and now jumping back out here. Once again, they're going to try to do it here. Snow jumping back. I guess they knew Snow was there. I actually thought that'd be a really great spot for a cheesy push. And now you can see immediately the Jet Squelcher already be moving to the same spot that Power was able to terrorize them from forward. They're going to have to use these two specials here. Will the third time be the charm? On the dive, Hope working through it. Storm gets a pick. That's 3 down. Can they close it? It's the squid bagging. And Hope, Storm is going to get another. Hope is going to move up. And your mom will do it. A full knockout as Storm blazes a trail in front.
How did they make that final push, man? There were Tenta missiles falling all over them, as well as the Stingray. And they just survived. They were just weaving in. Hope carrying it all the way to the end to basket, getting the Dunkaroo. 20 splats, Power?
20 splats and 7 Stingrays there. You can't do it any better. And Power has been one of the best backliners in this game for years. I got into this game because of what Power was able to do, and yet it's not any less astounding when he is able to make it happen. And we said there that the Jet Squelcher moved over RDB to try and counteract where Power was. There was too much going on. They timed their special properly, and that was all it took. Power backs up. That infinite range ray is going to do exactly what it's been doing for so long, but the credit has to be given to Storm, who was running in front of all, had to get those picks, had to get them cleanly, and now finally a moment to breathe for your mom.
Stargaze had a lead for so long in that match. Eventually it was only 1 point, and they were just trying to not play too aggressive, but just kind of hold on to that lead, I think, and that might have been some of the results of their downfall, especially at the end. Look at this weave, trying to find their way in. Just felt like almost it was hopeless, but Hunty getting these picks, that was a very good trade for Hunty. I remember saying that earlier.
It was, and it was the same looking push 2 or 3 times here, which is the really wild part. They got the push to 43, and then another push to 42, and then finally the third time was the charm. The push got all the way down. When that went south, I thought it was done here, but take a look at Storm here running ahead of the bubbles. That's 1, that's 2. The Ray certainly helping out with that. Storm's going to move back forward. They're going to get another one, and then Storm taking out RDB there at the very end that allowed Hope all the time in the world to get the dunk. But they set up that same push 2 times. Stargaze tossed it aside 2 times, but third time, not enough.
I mean, if you keep running your head into a wall, eventually you might break it. And that's
Is
exactly
that what we want the audience to take from this?
I don't know. Yeah, it's what I took from it.
Well, okay.
I literally what I learned from that, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
It is an execution test. If you play all your cards right, eventually the opponent's either going to play perfectly 3 times or something's going to fall through. And that time, credit to Stargaze again for being able to do that over and over and over again. But we're going to move on now to game number 3, Clam Blitz on Piranha Pit, a map that has seen a sort of renaissance as of late here with people getting excited. And we'll go ahead and get you over to the game feed here shortly so that you can take a look as the teams get into it. And once again, Power going to move over to the Bamboozler. He dropped a 25 bomb on me yesterday with this weapon here. A very mobile weapon and very difficult to play around. If you are the members of Stargaze, you're going to have to adapt to it. You're not going to be able to play around it the same way you do as other weapons.
Yeah, have a little bit of flashbacks here, huh, Nine?
Dangerous.
Yeah, but you know what? We'll jump it over to Clam Blitz here. This is the mode where you want to try to grab as many clams as possible. When you get 10, you get that power clam. You want to throw that into the basket at the end to open it up, try to get as many points as possible. But right out the gate, nothing too crazy happening. No one's on spot. But as I say that, one member from Stargaze is going to go down in the rock.
Yep, and here's what's so scary is we see Power again wrecking havoc with this weapon. Now the bubbles are going to come through as well here as they're trying to push forward here. The Jet Squelcher, for all that it does properly here, it takes a great many shots to do anything. There's a sort of immediacy with the Bamboozler. Hunty going to move forward here. You can saw they took a little bit too long to shift those clams around, and now the members of Stargaze are going to get a chance to respond. Yes, Hunty is set up well, and Storm's going to jump over here. Has to be careful. They're out of time, got stuck on the conveyor, and look at that Storm immediately jumping out, and that might have actually really doomed Hunty in Power there. I'm not sure if the call out was made here. They're going to go after after that, and I think there was some meat left on the bone on that one.
There definitely was. He only got one clam after that. And the thing is, they were like stuck on the conveyor belt, which is sometimes, you know, when you're going against traffic, it can be a little bit difficult, especially when there's Tenta missiles coming your way just like this. So you have to be able to like be very careful while you're going. Now we got ink armor on the table as we're going to continue to try to pick up some clams, find ourselves a little bit of an opening. Your mom doing a pretty good job here on the yellow team. But we'll see how they're going to be able to get this push in. Oh, no. Things are looking pretty bleak here, Nine.
Pretty bleak indeed, and it looks like Hunty's going to be the last person very wisely moving back here. I'm surprised that bomb didn't take enough. One more shot's going to do it. JB wisely moving back here and finds another fight, but it's power on the Bamboozler. What were you doing in mid where the fight was there? But you can see how difficult it is to get these big, long pushes here. So often on this map, what we see is it takes a while for the first push, but once you get that first push, big, big points tend to come.
And now we got some specials coming in. Tenta missile followed by an armor probably. Yep, there it comes. And the inkjet. Everyone, they're making for their big push right now. They got the clams. They got the everything going for them. JB just trying to make some more and more room. Forcing them to retreat to get back behind them. They don't even need the splats. They just had to push them back so they could score.
Yeah, but that's going to be all it is, and this is going to get dangerous in a hurry. Look at how quickly they're opting to move up here. They're not going to have a lot of specials for it. It's a delayed full wipe. Storm once again moving forward here. If Storm gets yeet, this is going to get ugly. Power going to get the revenge there, and now they're going to have their pity claim here. They're one claim away from building another. Hunty going to run forward here. This is going to be big points, Asti. Count them up.
How is he able to score that from there? Literally, he was surrounded, got right behind him, threw him in the power clam, but again, not really getting too many points out of it, and they're just going to spawn another pity clam for the other team.
No, commentators cursed. I can't believe how quickly they converged on that one. I thought that they had a member forward and they were trying to set up the jump. I guess they didn't pick up the power clam in time, or maybe they simply timed their jump a little bit too late. You saw when they landed, they didn't get even close to putting it in.
Yeah. So now we're just going back to basics, just trying to pick up some more clams, find ourselves a little bit of an opening here, build up some special, throw out the Tenta missiles to help them out. Yeet is right in there somehow, managed to find that pick. Bamboozler on the front lines. What is going on?
I mean, this is what you have to do here, and Hunty missing that pick is going to come back to bite them in a big, big way here because Yeet was able to close that down. Yeet had a ton of clams here, and it moved all that through. Big, big points once again. Now Power's going to try to get a shot here. Yeet is still there. They might be able to get back to the pity clam and jump it. Keep an eye on the top of your screen. One of them is grabbing. It's going to be JB. Can they get the jump in time? And no, it is going to close for the time being, and they picked up the pity clam to boot. So defense has been completed. Can we see a counter push?
You saw Yeet hanging in there for dear life, just trying to like stay alive, trying to be like a little beacon for their teammates to be able to jump to them. But unfortunately, couldn't get too many more. But that was a hefty amount of clams. You know, using that strategy where you want to try to get like 9 clams so you don't build the power to get maximum points. Very strong stuff. Now we got some inkjet coming out from Storm, trying to just paint down the way, build some meter, get some clams. But time's trying to run out here.
Yeah, and whenever you use an inkjet in mid like that, you are really, really hoping that you're able to take somebody out in the result there because it's going to be a rough landing, and even if it's not, that's a special that you'd love to have on the punish here. Now, once again, your mom has one mid here. They've done a great job controlling the map, and Hope is going to push in. This is where they got converged on last time, and Hope, I guess, deciding that it was done. They've thrown it in. Will they have any follow-up? Storm going to throw more. Power going to have to find a way. They set up the jump. I don't know. That's a rough angle. They're going to try to stop it on land. Power gets it!
That's all you need. Super jump in with the power clam. 30 seconds left on the clock. Stargaze is time to shine here. They can easily build a power clam right here for RDB. Going to be able to go for it. They have inkjet ready to go. If they want to shoot off the missiles, this is a huge push. They could easily take this back with 15 seconds left. Probably going to go into overtime. JDB trying to get some picks, trying to paint some purple just to get them some breathing room to push in. There goes the Booyah Bomb. Time's trying to run out. Looking for that picks. Gets 2. This is going to be huge. Unfortunately, your mom's going to stop that push immediately. Wipe out!
Incredible job there. We still have overtime left. Keep an eye. All of those are going to start to go away. They do very quickly. And you saw 3 power claims that they had in their possession at the end. A lot of avenues to try to push in. All they needed was to get 2 of those in. If they'd snuck one person behind and jumped both of them through, that would have been game, set, match. But they tried to move in as a unit. You saw Hunty taking a great position. Storm, top of the leaderboard there, 15 splats and assists. They had figured it out. They sniffed it out. And again, Stargaze giving your mom everything to deal with, but they've found a way in these last couple of games to stay composed, work through, and they're building their confidence.
That was yet another game for Stargaze to take, right? Like everything was aligned for them to be able to take the victory, just like in the last game. And unfortunately, they just couldn't get that push. And I'm wondering, is it because they had the power clam already built and they were pushing together? Should they have probably tried to split the clams a little bit more evenly? But you saw that there's a little bit of a rush. 30 seconds left. You saw RDB had 6, picked up 4. Could have easily picked up 3 and tried to build it later on so they're not like a walking target. But When the time starts ticking, bro, you're just kind of trying to get to that hoop as fast as possible.
Well, and it's so difficult. It's the worst spot to be because if it works, it was a great play. If it doesn't work, it was a bad play. Like, that's how we always boil it down to. But, I mean, of course, you look at, there were 3 people carrying a power claims. That was 3 people who had revealed their position. So, like, you know, let's take it from that perspective here. On a wide open map where you know the opponent has more range and power has been sniping everybody out of the sky. So it's difficult, I think, in that scenario to really say, do we try to sneak through? Do we opt to build and give them so many threats to look at? And I think that that's a situation where no answer is right until it works, you know?
Yeah, and the thing is, plays that don't work can be good plays, too.
Exactly.
They can still be solid plays. It's just that, you know, from the audience perspective, you know, you just say, wow, they went down. That was terrible. What were they thinking? Yeah. It's very easy to be like that when you're like watching like any sort of like competitive act. You know,
absolutely.
it's very easy to just be like, just not like coming from their side of view, you know, like from their point of view.
I mean, good ideas can fail and bad ideas can succeed. There's an execution component to it that goes beyond that. You know, earlier on we said that there was a fight that Hunty probably should have taken that allowed for that first initial big push to come in, and that's what it's like. It's a little bit of both. It's 2 sides. Speaking of 2 sides here, we'll take a look at both of the teams. Sturgeon Shipyard Splat Zones, one of the most popular maps and modes in the game, and we are now on tournament point here for Stargaze. Can they find a victory here to pull this back to a Game 5? They're going to be going with, I'm sorry, that is the Vanilla Slosher. We do not see this often.
Hello?
They are building missiles, missiles, missiles.
I remember this weapon from 2017.
Oh, that's about how long ago you'd have to go to see it played this often.
So like right out the gate, you know, just trying to get that middle point of the zone, playing a little bit of King of the Hill here, throwing out some Tenta missiles, already going to be a fantastic start for your mom.
Yeah, moving forward already. Storm got 2 and immediately ran forward, said, you're jumping out, I'm going after the last one of you who's running away. And we talked about confidence here. How's about this? Whenever your frontliner gets 2 and immediately runs forward, there is no fear in their heart.
Yeah, and that splat also helped them out with like kind of delaying their respawn a bit. Storm's going to have to be able to push back from that Booyah Bomb. Here come the Tenta missiles. Is going to be the easy swap, just using all their specials to try to claim that zone. But unfortunately, they're not seeming to claim that zone, actually.
No, the members did a great job of moving around here. Storm did go down there, worked at the top, but look at that. Hope rotated up as well, so they still can't get up on top of Spinner here. And now Power is rotated to make it even more difficult here. Looking at each side, they're just trying to build their missiles to push in. Aussie, they're really going to have one push here with all 4 specials. Can they take zone?
They're not taking this game off with one push, right? There's no way. That doesn't happen. Okay. Hold on. They're trying to almost hold it. Hold it. Got a pick. This is going to be huge for Hunty. Gets a second one on JP. Has missiles ready to go. And gets a trade with the triple. Didn't even lose the zone. No penalty points. That might be it.
It's just Yeet trying to make a hero play. They're jumping in. They're going to get in enough time to push it, but the Booyah Bomb misses the zone.
No!
And that will be the dagger as your mom, after losing game 1, an emphatic and dominant victory at the end over Stargaze to punch their ticket for their rematch with Cherry Limeade. But Austin, we gotta give credit here to Stargaze. What a show they put on, and in every single one of those first 3 games, there were moments where Stargaze was outpacing, where they were outplacing, but they weren't able to close out game 2 and 3.
Man, it's just like 2 and 3 were like, this could have been the set. That could have been a 3-0 based if they just played their cards right. But that last game, that was your mom in complete control. They were incredibly comfortable. Look at this play from Hunty. That was pretty much what sealed the entire fate.
Yeah, and whatever you see a flank look like that, where someone comes around left side and the entirety of the time that they are simply pointing and clicking, nobody even fires at them. That's what it looks like. And again, this Booyah Bomb, you had to mash it and throw it at the zone. Again, would it have been enough? Power was painting over the top. Storm was fighting them there. Maybe it would have made a difference. We don't know for certain, but what a great losers finals here on LAN at Shine 2022.
Yeah, I know Stargaze wanted that run back against Cherry Limeade, the team that took them back to losers. But hey, at the end of the day, they lost to Cherry Limeade and Yomama, 2 insanely good teams.
Top 2 seeds.
Literally, that means you earned 3rd place, you know?
Absolutely.
And you take that to the bank, you know? You wear that badge proudly. One of the very few last lands we're going to have for Splatoon 2.
Yep. Again, an incredible performance. And I again want to go back to in those first couple of games, right, the confidence that they were playing with. Everyone talks about the quad shooter meta that we're currently in right now, and yes, it's a matter of survivability. It's about not
I saw
committing.
a roller earlier. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, okay, you don't have to pick it. Most people just usually do, but you know, there's something to be said for the micro interactions that change. You can't simply sit back and build missiles. You're going to be way too passive there, and so often it does come down to the confidence of the execution as you move up. And I know that this is, oh, come on, put it in game terms here, but you got to understand humans are hitting the controls.
Yeah, they're not robots. We're not AI. If we were
Not
to play
yet.
perfect, I mean, Japan's reaching it. You know, they're almost there.
Pretty good.
So
Pretty
they're
good.
pretty good players. But you know what? That's not where we are. We're here in Massachusetts, in Worcester.
Okay, I was wondering if you were going to tiptoe around that one.
What did you think I was going to say, bro?
Just not say the name of the town that we're in.
Worcester?
Yeah.
What do you think I was going to say, like Worcester or something?
I just thought you were going to try to avoid it entirely.
Oh, no. I'm very confident with
Okay.
where we are, you know,
Okay.
because they told me specifically that the natives here that live here are very, what's the word? They want to make sure that you get it correctly, and they're passionate, they're particular, they will be angry if you don't say it correctly, you know? You know what I'm saying? What's up, guys? How's it going?
I will take your word for it. All right. Enough fooling around. Let's get down to business here. We
Grand
saw these
finals.
two teams in winners finals.
That's right.
The Dirty 30, Cherry Limeade, beat them pretty good.
That was actually like a closeout. Like,
Yeah, it was dominant. And I watched that set very intently here because Cherry Limeade, for those of you who don't know, if any of you don't know about this team, has a huge presence online
How?
because they are very anti-meta. But the thing is, they don't say that they intentionally play anti-meta. What they will tell you is that they play the weapons that they like in a way that they like to beat what is commonly meta. Now, if we're assuming that the meta is quad shooter here and the way that people want to play around it, Cherry Limeade has had infinite practice against this meta. It's kind of like in a fighting game, if you're playing against a character that's the most popular character, eventually you're going to learn the matchup. And of course, there's a lot more to a 4v4 shooter than just, picking two characters in a fighting game. But it should be noted that in that last set, you saw them position perfectly to meet a lot of the main fights. You saw Krim on those Gluga dualies. They have been beating the drum for that weapon for years. And you saw there were a couple fights that Hunty and Storm on the traditional shooters took where they were playing at the range that Gluga wants to play at. And that's a little bit of unfamiliarity, but that is earned when you have played against these weapons so long. So I think that the start of that Stargaze set where you saw just a little bit of nerves, I think it is because the members of your mom were, again, every time they run forward, there was chip damage somewhere. There was always something. They knew where they were coming from. And one of the big weaknesses a lot of people will say for the shooter meta is because it doesn't have a lot of range, whenever the special comes out, the push starts. If you identify where the specials are coming from, you're one step ahead.
yeah, and honestly, they were probably a little bit rattled just from like the previous loss, you know, just coming in for the game one, just kind of have to, shake it off a little bit, get those wrists going.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, I personally think meta, playing not meta, can sometimes be meta because you're not used to it. I know it's just said meta a bunch of times, but like literally that's what it comes down to is like playing a team that other teams are not used to playing against gives you a huge advantage. It's that niche stuff that can actually be like, oh, wait, what do I do against this? And all of a sudden you're splatted and they took the zone.
Right, and we saw some other things. Shiny on the E-leader, which I've been looking over here. You've been taking notes and we've been talking.
Yeah.
Shiny is a true master of this weapon. And again, they play at such range that you're not familiar with. If you're used to playing against a custom jet squelcher or a splatter scope, you might be moving around the map and say, okay, the charger's looking there.
I'm
but
safe
they're not,
here.
Yeah, they're not going to shoot at me. They're not going to get anything from it. And we've always said that chargers in 2 shots can change the entire dynamic of a game. So Shiny might not need to hit every single shot. But if they hit 1 or 2 when the big push is coming on, that's all it takes.
Yeah, but it's stressful being a charger or just a backliner in general because you do have to make your shots. If you don't find those shots, if you don't find all those picks, like that could be the difference between your team making a push or if they just fall flat.
Absolutely. We've kind of made the world tour here of Cherry Limeade, so let's talk about the last 2 members. Lily, dear friend of mine.
I love Lily.
Lily,
the junior.
Yes, they have been on junior and only junior, begrudgingly playing NZAP once or twice and then saying, no, I go back. One of the most aggro juniors that you will ever see, a huge believer in that weapon's movement, and then it's still everything else that a junior provides. In the Splat Zones game in the last set, I remember there was that big push and pull for the zone at the end, and immediately as soon as that started, at the very beginning of it, I said, okay, where's the junior? Yeah. You have to, if you do not take out the junior at the start, you will get outscaled in terms of your ink. You will not be able to take a zone. And you saw that when Hunty tried to move up, another member immediately moved over to protect Lily. I don't recall which member it was, but they understand the rules of the game here. If your junior is up and not getting shot at, you will not lose the zone. That's simply not how it goes, and eventually you'll get armor, and then you definitely won't lose the zone. And of course, the captain, the mad scientist himself, Pika, who plays everything.
Everything?
I mean, like, half of this page is just the weapons that Pika plays.
I literally wrote down the weapons, and I'm like,
this is pointless.
These weapons probably won't even get picked, you know?
The weapons are pointless, but Pika truly is a mad scientist and has been for a long time, playing with a number of different teams and always trying to think outside of the box and trying to find different ways to beat what is meta with the weapons that he likes. And, you know, it's, okay, some sloshing machines and some tri-sloshers here. Not bad weapons by any means, but you saw in that last set was willing to go over to a foil flings a roller for the missiles, but also because I asked him a little bit about that, feels confident about that weapon on ledges. You can immediately take something out if they don't know that you're there, whereas the typical slasher, you need 2 slashes. Foil flings a, one's enough.
Yeah, you literally just like pull it out, and if you're feeling it, if you're feeling a little bit, maybe you can just roll them over. You don't see it too often.
If we see that, like, you all will hear the pop-off if that happens. I know you've been able to hear them. They are, I mean, what? This is a stone's throw and a half here. I mean, what, about 30 feet? Okay, we're getting some love.
They're throwing some hearts.
They're throwing some hearts at us. We'll throw it back. Thank you, Cherry Limeade. But, I mean, you will hear the pop-off if they win this set. I know you heard it earlier, but they have been grinding so long, so hard. This would mean as much to them as any tournament has meant to any team ever.
And they have the advantage. They're on the winner's side of Grand, so that's going to give them a little bit of playroom. So they can maybe be even more experimental with this first set, right? If they want to try some new wacky, zany stuff, they could potentially throw out some weird comp. And if they lose the set, that's okay. It was data download. Now they have a second set to play with, you know?
And they are all about the data here. They absolutely love looking through on their Discord. They're constantly labbing new stuff out. They're constantly in the training room working out.
Love to see it.
And it's why they're such a fan favorite, because they do lend credence to the idea that if you stick with the same players enough and if you lab things out, you will eventually find victory. And Splatoon is a game where chaos, you know, no pun intended for all of you who have been playing Splatoon 3, chaos is the norm, right? There is so much that is going on at all times, and there is a certain degree of versatility that is often thought to need be had. The other side of that is, if you can create enough structure with your comp and your set play, you can control the chaos in such a way that you can win. There's so much that goes into that. You have to execute properly, and you have to be willing to stick to the plan even when the going gets tough. You have to remain disciplined.
I know it's so easy to just want to like change up the plan when something starts not working. It's like, oh, it was the weapon, it was the comp that we did. We have to try something else instead of just kind of like sitting back and reflecting. Like maybe it was the plays that we made.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
To be able to sit back and say, was a good idea, we just didn't do it right. And that's it. That's the end of the discussion.
That's how you grow.
It is. And when I'll tell you, when you do it like that, you say, all right, well, what's map 2? There you go.
Yeah.
We had the right idea. We didn't execute, but we believe that we made the right choice. We just didn't execute it properly. Let's try again with another right choice, and let's execute it right this time.
And I know we made the right choice by going for Team Rock for Splat 3. You know, let's go, baby. Easy wins. You thought we weren't in the lead in the beginning? No, that was on purpose. We wanted to have the duos. We wanted to team up with Paper. That was actually the strat.
Hey, I'll see. On shoot? On shoot.
On shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Hey!
Team
We
Rock.
out here, man. Team Rock always be out. So many people are here playing Team Scissors, and I'm like, guys, you're not on the Team Rock.
No.
You weren't on the winning team.
In most regions, too, Team Paper got second place. Team Scissors.
Scissors kind of, okay, to be fair, the tricolor splashdown was a little wild.
Yeah.
I felt a little bad for Scissors, getting teamed up.
I'm not so merciful, folks. I'm not so merciful.
No, I like to, put on other people's shoes sometime, Make sure it fits my foot before I, take it off for a walk.
Yeah, that's exactly how
that's how the expression goes, right? Like, I didn't butcher that or anything, right?